Michael, how's it going today, man?
Well, it's going well, guys. I was like, man, we could not connect. I'm out west. If I woke up this early, if I got up this early, I was like, okay, we better make sure that we get this done. So how's everybody doing back that way?
Well, Choppy looks like he's doing great as usual.
I'm alive. No point being angry if you're awake and alive.
But Michael, nobody is feeling very happy or confident right now with this team, man.
Right.
It is tough.
Right. We had the worst possible thing happen to us, which is our quarterback getting hurt the first game right out the box like that. And this thing's been crazy too, because on one side you hear 6 to 8 weeks, and then I heard Jerry on the show with you guys, Chop, and he comes out, of course, and throws that hint, talking about, well, listen, we're going to tell you this, he's not going on IR. So now you have to figure out, oh, that means he may be back sooner, and then that thing went crazy. So what we're saying is he's going to be gone from somewhere from 4 to 8 weeks. I don't think it's 4 weeks, and hopefully it's not 8 weeks. But we're probably looking at 6 weeks. And somehow, some way, and I talked about this on First Take, this team has to try to come out of the 6-game run 3-3. 3-3. So now you got a shot. You get that back at maybe 3-4, and you try to make a run for a playoffs.
Okay? So that's the number. You don't think 2-4 they've got a chance at the division anymore?
Well, man, 2-4 may be hard. 2-4 may be hard because of this. Do you guys see Philadelphia Eagles schedule in front of you? You see how easy that is. And they got off to, a good start with the win. And then and when you get a couple of those wins together, if you're the Eagles, you start feeling good and you start playing better than you really think you are, and then you really become as good as you think you are. So it's that process right now. Now we got to make sure we're watching those Eagles.
It is, to me, they could be 6-2, Philadelphia, after 8 games. And if they're 6-2, I think you're right. I don't think you could be. I don't think you can start the season anything less than 3-3 if they're going to wind up being 6-2. We've been talking about culture a lot this morning. Do you think there's a culture issue with this franchise?
That's a great question, Chop. Because when you're looking at other teams and then you're looking at our team, it looks like sometimes something different. You know what I'm saying? Like you see Pittsburgh. Nobody expected Pittsburgh to win that game, play that game. But they went out, they played so hard together and gave themselves a chance to win that football game, and then ended up winning the football game. That's the thing we feel like, and sometimes I feel like we miss. Like that strong connectivity that even when you're in a tough spot, somehow you come out of it, like Pittsburgh came out of Cincinnati.
You guys, your team, and we were just talking with Babe about this, but when we talked with Darren Woodson, he said y'all had a team full of alphas, and I think that was one of those things that it looked like you could not look around the room and not see a dude that was ready to take it all on. Let's go do all this. But there was an identity, and you were like the heartbeat. But Troy Aikman, you will always defer and say they were his teams. Where was that balance of who got, how the pecking order went with all those guys? Because right now it looks like it's on the verge and on the cusp of becoming a Micah team, but Dak's still your quarterback.
Right. But Dak's a great leader, and Dak communicates and chill and talk with all of these guys and lead the guys. But you need somebody on that other side with the same kind of thing. Charles Haley had that. Darren Woodson, guys that can get everybody going. This thing has to be set up like a company, for real. So you can make Troy maybe call him the CEO, right? So he's the CEO. But every position, you have to have general managers running every position. There has to be leaders at the wide receiver, at the offensive spot, at offensive line, defensive line, because that leader, you have to be in charge of getting your group ready to play. And then, of course, I was in charge to make sure everybody was ready to play. But it really is run like a company. You got the head guy, but you have to have like leaders at every position, and we were fortunate enough to have that.
Now, when you were watching this game on Sunday night and early in the game, it was it was tough sledding to get any offense going, to get anything moving downfield. What was Tampa doing that the Cowboys have to figure out and fix with their offense?
And that's the whole thing. What all Tampa did was stay around CeeDee Lamb. You know what I'm saying? They were dropping back in zone coverage. All right, but now just because you're in the zone coverage, it doesn't mean you're going to stay in your spot. So the linebackers that would start out 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, they're dropping. Every time that ball went to CeeDee, you saw 3 or 4 people around him. 3 or 4 people around him. And this is something he has to learn and figure when you are a true number one. You always going to have 3 or 4 people around you. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Every time they come in on Wednesday morning, they put 88 up there. It's the first number they put up there. So people are conditioned. When nobody comes in your space and you're playing the zone, those guys were dropping, trying to run up under CeeDee Lamb. Now, get this, guys. Get this. Because CeeDee is in a spot here. Because he had that kind of game in his first game, supposedly being the number one receiver, and a couple of those balls went through his hands. Now everybody's going to say, oh, is he a true number one? Is he a true number one? And now he has to go out and prove he is with the backup quarterback. That's a hard thing to do. And that's kind of what Juju went through. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's not there in Pittsburgh anymore.
Mike, how long did it take you to get used to that star tribute? You know, come out of college, you know, you go in the NFL, to get used to the fact that every game you have NFL dudes that are focused solely on you. How long does that take to get used to?
But listen, you better get used to it right away if you are a number one receiver. And let me tell you this also, guys, even with CeeDee. So like those passes CeeDee dropped, and, you know, people say, oh, man, is the alligator arming these balls? Is he worried? Is he scared? Because there were so many people around him. This is exactly why, you know, because the book tells me, catch the ball in your hands, catch it with your hands. And, you know, that's what the book says. But I said, whoever wrote the damn book ain't play wide receiver like me. I don't care what that says. They didn't play. So when CeeDee's in those situations where all those people are around him, you see he put up his hands trying to catch that ball, and that ball went through his hands. Mm-hmm. Because your body has a natural defense mechanism. Natural. And your body will naturally tighten up if it's about to feel impact. Ain't nothing you can do. This is not a decision. This is not about courage. There's just nothing you can do. It's a natural defense mechanism that your body tightens up. And when your body tightens up, that's the worst thing for catching football. If it gets too tight, the ball hits your hand and fall off. Or like CeeDee did, your body gets so tight, you're not able to close down and squeeze on the football, and the ball goes through your hands. He has to learn, when I'm in that kind of traffic, I got to put my body on this ball. I got to catch that ball in the basket, put my body on the ball, because my body's going to get tight. But if I just catch it in the basket, it doesn't affect me. This is what I had to break down. That's what it's the difference when I'm running a first or second down slant. I'm trying to score a touchdown. When I'm running a third down slant, I'm putting my body on that ball because I'm just trying to get a first down. He has to figure out those other things.
The difference between being, one guy and the elite guy. On the line is Odyssey NFL insider Michael Irvin. Insider Calls brought to you by Driveway.com. Looking for a car? Go to Driveway.com, where you can get pre-qualified, buy a car, and get it delivered. Michael, one of the big topics is still, and I think a lot of people are still kind of, our offense could be different. Do you think the Cowboys should have held on to Amari Cooper?
Yeah, that was the one thing I kept saying. We could have won that game with Amari. I really do believe that, giving us the opportunity, giving us a chance. And they knew we were trying to go to CeeDee. They were saying, we'll let Noah Brown beat us. We'll let any one of these guys beat us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it would have been hella difference if we had Amari. And I'm saying the line did good enough. In their young line. So they did good enough. It was that we didn't have the receivers.
Mahomes threw like 20 passes in the preseason. He knew he lost Tyreek Hill. He wanted to get some kind of run with his basically his new wide receivers. Do you think it was a mistake to not play Dak at all in the preseason?
Oh, yeah, I do. But I think it's a mistake whenever someone sits out the whole preseason. Aaron Rodgers, I think that was a mistake. So you see what he looks like, and you see what those guys look like. This is just a new NFL. But there's no way, not even in these controlled scrimmages, where you can really get game-like feeling, game-like action, but in a game. This is it. There's absolutely, it's absolutely impossible. So yeah, I think he should have gotten some play in the preseason, and I hope from this year, Dax makes sure that he demands to get him some play to get ready. Tom Brady came back and said, no, I need to see this. I need to get out here and see this in that last preseason game. If Tom needs to get out there and see it, you need to get out there and see it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, Michael. Now, I am kind of curious with this weekend coming up against Cincinnati. What does Cooper Rush have to do? Like, I don't think he can try to be something he's not. What's his responsibility with this team?
Man, Cooper Rush, did you see us on the other day, right? Mm-hmm. I'm telling these people, I'm like, listen. And I can't take it. I just can't take it. And at the risk of losing all of my blackness, I had to just say it. Stop it with this Colin Kaepernick stuff. No, Colin Kaepernick is not coming to Dallas. Every time some situation and quarterback comes up, everybody want to throw out Colin Kaepernick. I said, okay, as black as I am, I'm going to risk losing this because stop saying that. You could do that. I hadn't played football in over 5 years. I want my quarterback to have seen a full-fledged NFL blitz somewhere in the last 3 years. I think somewhere in the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Deshaun Watson, he was on out a year. When he came back, you saw what he looked like. And Deshaun Watson was a better quarterback. So I get that kind of stuff, and I say stop it. I told her I'll take my chances with Cooper Rush. He won a game last year, and hopefully he can get us some of these games this year. Yeah, and Cooper Rush has to just play the game. He has to play the game in front of him. And Kellen has to call a great game and get the ball out of Cooper Rush's hands. We want the ball in everybody else's hands. Get it out of his hands quickly.
Michael, thank you very much for hopping on with us today. Even though Shan wasn't here, I really appreciate you hanging out and having that conversation, man.
All right, man. Let's keep that between us, what I said about Colin Kaepernick. So don't come back on. That's just between us. Let's keep that between us, okay? Thank you. That was just between us.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll seal that one up and put it in a Ziploc bag.